Lord was looking out for us. I mean, this huge tree landed, not 5 feet from us. It's amazing. It's pretty bad.
This is a special presentation from the Arkansas Storm Team, continuing coverage of Arkansas's tornado recovery.
It is now night 3 of tornado recovery across north central Arkansas. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Clausen from KRK4 News.
And I'm Donna Terrell from Fox 16, combining crews of Fox 16 and KARK to bring you the most in-depth storm coverage in the state.
Our crews have spent all day, I guess you could say we've transitioned from chasing storms to chasing stories, from the start of the tornado's path all the way to the end.
And tonight, we've got live crews all over the path of destruction. Brittany Johnson and Suzanne Bruner are live in Mayflower, the first majorly populated area to get hit.
And down from there, Kevin Kelly, Drew Petromo, and Jeff Baskin in Bologna. And we are also hosting a telethon this evening. We have been all day long since 5 a.m. We are going until 10:30 this evening. Wes Moore and volunteers overtaking your donations to help the disaster relief, and you have been answering the call.
You certainly have. We have raised $152,000 since the start this morning, early this morning, and our goal tonight is to raise at least $200,000, and I know we can do that tonight. We have until 10:30 to do it, right?
With your help, and thank you to all of you who have already called in.
Absolutely. But first, here are the latest numbers at this hour. FEMA has designated Faulkner County as a major disaster area, and it has also been placed under a burn ban. Arkansas delegation sent a letter to FEMA and the president in support of governor's declaration for disaster. And
Mayflower's water system is now under a precautionary boil order, meaning tap water there needs to be boiled before consuming. And as of now, the death toll, it is holding at 15.
We're going to start things off with Fox 16's Kevin Kelly, who's live in Bologna. Kevin, set the scene for us tonight. How does it look out there?
Well, Bob and Donna, first let me tell you where I'm at. I am on Rocky Point Road, which is just off Highway 64. And to answer your question, Donna, it is eerily quiet. It is dark, it is cold, and there is a slight breeze that is barreling through this area. The scene here is really hard to believe. The curfew remains in effect. It went into effect once again tonight at 7 p.m. It will remain in effect until 7 a.m. tomorrow. Where we are tonight, there's nobody here. I do see in the far distance 1 or 2 energy trucks trying desperately to restore power to this particular area, but the destruction widespread. Take a look behind me and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is what's left of a truck. It is just one big huge pile of twisted metal. And as we pan over, I want you to take a look at this tree as I shine a flashlight on it. You'll see that that's all that's left, but if you look closely, all of the bark has been sheared off by that massive tornado that came through here. And then as we pan over with my photographer Ben, I want to show you these 3 cars that are off in the distance. This red one that you see right here is on its side. Right next to it are 2 additional cars that have just been smashed together. And then over here is a sofa that is on top of one big huge pile of debris. Behind that is a foundation that used to be a house. This is the scene on Rocky Point Road, but about 8 miles northeast of where we are is the Parkwood Meadow subdivision. We were there earlier today. It's a community of about 50 to 70 homes. Most of those homes are gone. All that's left are foundations. I took some pictures earlier today that I hope to show you right now. And the community is rallying together as best they can. In fact, a lot of people stopped for a brief moment, gathered and stood in a driveway, the home absolutely gone, and they held a moment of prayer, not only for themselves, but for the unfortunate ones that lost their lives. And then there are stories that are coming out of that small community, like the story of Drew and Tiffany Baker. They were in Maumelle, away from their home, having a barbecue with their friends, but they were worried not only about their house, but their dog, because they left their dog inside the house in a kennel. They raced back after the tornado barreled through. The house was gone. The dog was gone. It was found 2 miles away by a veterinarian alive. That vet somehow was able to track down Drew and Tiffany and return their dog to their owner, healthy and alive. And then there's the story of Sean Scott, an Iraq War veteran. He and his wife and 2 children huddled inside a bathtub as that tornado barreled through their house, just destroying it, leveling it. They popped out without any scratches whatsoever, and they had time to go through all of the debris. And the one thing that he found that was near and dear to his heart was the U.S. flag, which he proudly displayed on top of a car that was mangled. A lot of stories coming out of that subdivision, a lot of stories coming out of where we are tonight. Just stories of heroics, stories of survival, and a lot of stories of people praying for those who weren't as fortunate. But that curfew, Donna and Bob, remains in effect, and it's I've got another truck coming through here hauling a backhoe probably to clear more debris. But it's an unbelievable scene here, and the town of Vilonia is struggling to survive. They've been through this before, as you both know, and they're going to come out on top. But just another difficult, long, and sad day here in Vilonia. That's the latest from here. We'll toss it back to you in the studio.
You know, Kevin, I will tell you, if Vilonia is anything like Mayflower, they are serious about those curfews. I know we were having problems dealing with that last night, getting in and out of different neighborhoods, because they're serious about it. And that's good, because,
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of people have things. Some people just want to come and look. They get in the way.
You know, and honestly, the ugly side of this, there are people who shouldn't be there, and they don't want to help out. They're not looking to lend a hand. They're looking to take what they can
That's
for
exactly
themselves and then move on. And that's an unfortunate side of this, but that's why the curfew is there. It's also, and as Kevin was pointing out very vividly, you know, there's no power out there. So once the sun goes down, it gets dark. And even though you live in the area, what used to be very familiar, a
It's
place
not
you could
so
navigate,
familiar.
is completely different.
That's
it's a
true.
dangerous place. So they don't want anyone else to become victims of this storm, you know, post the tornado. So
Right.
they want to keep everyone out, keep it safe as possible.
Well, they are doing a good job at that. You know, one of the things, obviously, we've been talking about the weather since Sunday. Thank goodness we don't have any more storms out there, nothing to threaten us. But we're going to go to Chief Keith, because certainly he can fill us in with, one of the things Kevin said was it was cool. There was a bit of a breeze in Vilonia tonight. I take it it's like that through much of central Arkansas tonight.
And that's right, Donna and Bob. We do have cooler air moving into the state. We had those areas of rain this morning with areas of clouds as well, but that precipitation now well off to our east of the Mississippi River. Nothing on radar that's headed for Arkansas. In fact, it looks like we are in for a rain-free and storm-free next 7 days. Temperatures are going to be very comfortable as we head through the overnight hours, even on the chilly side, already down to the upper 40s in northwest Arkansas. Got 57 at Batesville. Here in the capital city, we are at 61, and it is 63 right now at Arkadelphia and down at Camden. As we head through the rest of the overnight hours, we're going to see partly cloudy skies. We are going to see those temperatures falling off here in town at 48 degrees, but the nearby suburbs generally down into the mid-40s. If you're north of US 64, you're likely to see temperatures down into the low 40s in a couple of places in far northern Arkansas, around the Ozarks, especially in those valley protected areas. Could see some upper 30s. Although we're going to start the day with plenty of clouds, we are going to see some breaks in the overcast during the course of the day, and that will help boost temperatures only back up into the low to mid 60s with another cold night on the way for tomorrow night. But believe it or not, we're going to see more spring-like temperatures by the end of the work week. We'll be well up into the 70s and 80s by Friday on into the weekend. And right now, no chance of any rain right on through the next 7 days. Bob, back to you.
All right, Keith, thank you very much. All day long, actually, since 7 or 5 o'clock this morning, we have opened up the phone lines asking you to donate, and certainly you have called that number, 340-4922, over and over. Continue to do that, please, because we want to reach a certain goal. Donna's over at the phone bank right now. Donna, what's our goal, and where are we now?
We are at 152,000. It might be slightly more than that since we just started at 9 o'clock. It's only 9 after right now. Our goal, Bob, is to get to $200,000. And I'm really hoping we can do more than that, because I believe we can. I believe in my heart we can. Obviously, our phones are filled right now. Volunteers for the Salvation Army, they're here. We want you to call us, the number 501-340-4922, or you can text the word STORM to 80888. And you can make a donation that way. I do want to read to you some of the names that have just called in the last few minutes. Marsha Bowers from, I believe that's North Little Rock, made a donation. Doris Wilson from Bismarck made a donation tonight. Thank you. Patricia Reed made a very nice donation from Jacksonville. Also, Mickey Eastham from Fayetteville made a donation this evening. We thank you for all of the donations, but please just keep the phones ringing. Bob?
And Donna, speaking of those in a time of need, in Pulaski County, a family is recovering and they're mourning the loss of 3 family members after the deadly tornado leveled their 2-story home. The home was wiped out completely. The family of 11 took shelter under their staircase. And when the tornado touched down Sunday, they claimed the lives of Rob Tittle and his 2 daughters, Rebecca and Tori. While his wife and 7 other children survived, today family members were left in disbelief, trying to understand how it all happened and how it ended this way.
They were trying to get everybody else under the staircase, and you know, everything was timing, so apparently those 3 were the last to get under the staircase.
And he says the family is now working on funeral arrangements, and they should have something set up by tomorrow.
And 2 days since the tornado carved a deadly path through central Arkansas, the storm team is learning more about the victims. One of those is 51-year-old Mark Bradley. Mark's sister Debbie spoke to our own Josh Berry today near the spot where she says her brother and his dog passed away. Everyone there says his dog Sheba was no doubt standing by his side through the tornado. The family buried the dog there, creating a memorial on that spot with a cross.
My sister called him right before it hit. He was asleep. He said the satellite was out. He guessed something was going on.
We just walked into the Conway Church.
So he said he's going to get up and see what was going on, and he never called us back.
Well, for the first time today, Debbie visited the spot where her brother was killed by that tornado. Mark's family says he loved his family and he loved God.
Our coverage of the tornado recovery is just getting started this evening.
Coming up, how barbecue is helping recovery efforts in some of the hardest hit parts of Arkansas. You are watching continuing coverage of the Arkansas Storm Team.